Welcome to the Crazy Agent Dinner Party. Part group therapy, part inspiration, entirely for real estate agents to dish on this crazy business we're in. And remember, real estate is crazy, and you don't have to be.
Hey y'all, welcome to the Crazy Agent Dinner Party. I'm Amanda, the Marketing Mama, and with me is my co-host, Konversion Kourtney, and we're here live in Los Angeles with another amazing today for our awesome show, Jason Bergman, who is LA's favorite real estate agent.
That's right.
So, Jason, for starters, what does a typical day look like for you?
Typical day. Oh, good question. I wake up really early. The secret to life, I think, is waking up earlier than anyone else. Get to the office 7-ish. Check my to-dos from the day before. Look at my client list, who I need to call. Kind of go through my hot and warm leads and figure out who needs to get called that didn't get called the day before. And then I mail. I'm old school. I mail letters, handwrite stuff. Nice to meet you. Market report. All that stuff gets handwritten. That goes till about 10:30. And then I typically do lunch with someone at our local Houston's restaurant, which everyone loves. Then I'm usually showing properties, and then dad mode at like 4:30 or 5. Yes, but also I usually do, if I'm doing offers or something, I go back to the office till, I need to, and then get the kids to bed. Yeah.
Wow. So we talk about that a lot as far as time blocking and time management. And if you asked any one agent, and what does your day look like? A lot of agents would be like, it's scattered. I don't know. I'm like, whatever's going to be happening that day, that's what's going to be happening. You made it very clear on what happens every single day. And that's important to success as a real estate agent. Absolutely.
So let's dig into that. I think what we'd like to talk about with LA's favorite real estate agent is this business of being an entrepreneur as a real estate agent. So let's really dig into the meat and potatoes. That's our main course
Love
here. It. Do you believe that there is balance?
A good question. Not really.
Thank you. Yay!
I don't.
Yes. That's a false reality. That's not true.
Everybody's looking for the balance in life
You're
and real estate. And we
and
love
anything.
that.
Entrepreneurship in general, it's extreme in one different way every day. And sometimes you got to pivot to something else. But yeah, definitely it's pretty wild out there.
So explain, because you're a dad, you dad hard.
I dad hard,
and there is no balance.
Yes.
So how does that look for you? How are you completely present when you're with your family, your kids?
I try to stay off my phone and be present, which sometimes, look, my kids, my daughter, they love going to Hawaii. And I pick them up from school and I'm like,
we're going to Hawaii.
Do you want to go to Hawaii this summer? Daddy needs to make a phone call. And that could be like escrow, title, clients.
Okay, so you've actually related what you're doing on the phone to actual money. Like this work is not just for fun. This is for actual money, which I think is the other thing too. As an entrepreneurial,
Yes.
When you become a real estate agent, people automatically think you're instantly wealthy, right? And they're like, oh, well, can you help me move my couch? Can you pick the kids up from school? Can you do all? No, I'm working. And I love the fact that you mapped out your day. You already knew it. Like, we did not give you these questions ahead of time, which is a testament to what a true entrepreneur is. You did mention previously, though, that you're from an entrepreneurial family.
Yes.
So maybe you have that just ingrained in you from birth, maybe. And does that play any role into how you behave as a very successful real estate agent?
I think yes, but also I know a lot of entrepreneurial families that don't have entrepreneurial children. So I think, one, you have to be starving, not hungry, every day. Because I think everyone's been in a zone where you're getting a little bit comfortable and the money's coming in, or maybe you're comfortable with whatever money is, like people ask, how much money do you make? And I said, well, how much do you make? A lot of money? And what's a lot of money to you? It's, our business is about helping others. It's about empowering others' lives, someone's dream home, or, So I think it's also, that's part of the balance, but it doesn't mean that you're born into being an entrepreneur by any means whatsoever.
What do you think the pitfall is for real estate agents in particular as entrepreneurs? What do you think is the thing that keeps them from what did we say that stat was? 50% of real estate agents?
Yes. 50% of all agents in 2023, I read this stat. I can't quote the source because I don't know where it's from, but it said had only sold 0 to 1 home.
That is mind.
That's no way to make a living.
How do they make a living? They don't really. It's a hobby to them.
Yeah. I think people fall in love with watching these shows
Right.
And I don't know what your next questions are, but I don't want to skip around. But you fall in love with this and you think, it's the Bentley and the champagne and popping bottles and these luxury homes. I sell all kinds of homes.
Correct.
I sell land if I have to. It's just whatever my client needs. So it's up and down. And I think, you have to be starving, not hungry.
And you have to come from that servant heart, really.
Yes.
Because that's what you're doing. You're helping people.
Yes.
And again, one of the things that you had said in an article, apparently an old article, was the same philosophy that Kourtney and I have, which is that real estate is a great way to help a family build wealth
100%
in their life. And that's something that's what I love about it. I'm changing people's lives on a financial level and maybe the future of what their legacy is for their family, for their kids.
Yeah.
On a very measurable level that gets them excited. And then again, you get to be their person for all things real estate, whether it's land, whether it's, a mobile home, a manufactured home, whether it's, a $10 million Hollywood. I probably can't get anything in Hollywood for $10 million, but either way, maybe there's some. He's like, I'll help you. Yeah. But that's really what it's about. And so what do you think the ones that maybe do those 50%, what do you think the pitfall is then? What do you think is the thing about entrepreneurship that maybe they are not getting?
I think just similar to you're going to find other agents, whether you're in insurance or real estate or car sales, you've got these self-proclaimed gurus that are going to, and I feel like a lot of people get sucked into that. Team building is tough. There's a allure of being on the team, which for some people it's great. If you're not doing a lot of deals and you want to learn, contracts are very important. So, you're holding these people's lives like in your hands sometimes when you're dealing with their wealth. But I think you're just trying to, that's a pitfall. The other thing is getting caught up in meetings. I like my meetings really short and I need to get to work, Also just falling in love with the idea of this fake world that people think that we actually live in every day and what we really do,
It's really not very sexy, is it?
And I love that you bring that up and you brought it up a couple times is because that's why we're doing what we're doing,
right?
Is because all of these shows
really entertaining though. They're very entertaining.
And it's not the life of a real estate agent. So with the life of a real estate agent, we have stuff like that in our own lives. How do people need us? People pull us away. Amanda always likes to say people come to us because they think we're realtors and we've got all this time on our hands. And so how do you prevent from getting into that and saying no and being okay with that? Because this is a business.
You get sucked into that little abyss, don't you? Yeah. I think that you have to have clear, precise goals and actually know what your worth is as well, which in any entrepreneur, you've got to get that from the nuts and bolts of who you are as a person, how you're helping others, and what that value is. And if someone has a portfolio of properties, you're going to help them, obviously. Sometimes there's certain things you can't do. And that's why you have a team around you that can help you, and people like title, escrow, attorneys that you can kind of pass that along to. And I think just not getting caught up in the little things. But I still will bring a ladder to someone's house, or I'll still have to go wipe down someone's stove because they forgot. I mean, the little details that we do, I think that's just a minute scale of what you really have to do in the transaction. So not getting caught up in the little things and really look at the bigger picture.
And so what about family? You're getting pulled in all these different directions. How do you stay focused, stay determined? It's the knowing the goals, obviously you had mentioned that.
Yeah.
And then where do you go from there?
I think the non-negotiable is, okay, so if I don't get up early and someone wants to talk to me and I have a Little League game that I got to go to my son's at 4:00, I don't want to miss that. So by waking up early and having an agenda and getting ahead of it, I'm totally there.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love the non-negotiables. We talk about that a lot on the non-negotiables.
There's days that are non-negotiables too for me, by the way.
Days
like no meetings, no, every Wednesday I'm dad mode. I'll work till 11 and then I'm done.
That's awesome. Yeah. Weekend Warrior Wednesday. That's why we actually air our show on Wednesdays, because that is
perfect.
Statistically, well, maybe, yeah, no, but that's statistically when a real estate agent, because we are weekend warriors, right? We are working when everybody else is. That is kind of like our weekend, and so that is a really great middle of the week. Get your mind right, get your life right type of deal. That's wonderful. I call it real job rules, because you have to define, as an entrepreneur, you have to define your job, because you are the boss. You actually are everything. You're the whole business man.
100%.
Right? Are you a businessman or are you a businessman?
I'm a businessman.
Me too. Me too. So then what do you believe? What is that one thing that, not even one thing, what is a handful of things I would say that you believe? Let's dig into what does an agent really need to be a successful entrepreneur?
Do more than is required.
Ooh, good answer. Good answer. Yes,
Yeah.
if this was Family Feud, we would all be clapping.
Yeah.
That's great.
Do more than is required of you. And I think you really have to do things for yourself too, to do more than is required. It's yourself, it's your clients, it's people around you. I think being an influence rather than being sucked into someone else's agenda is really important.
And that we just talked about that. And so one of the things as an entrepreneur and a real estate agent is we are a marketer, we're an accountant, we're in the relationship. Sometimes I say psychologist, like we do all the things. And how do you manage all of the things and do it well and be happy?
My number one thing is wake up. I keep saying this over and over. Wake up earlier. Way earlier than most people.
So what time do you wake up?
Well, no, I mean, with kids,
I'm afraid. I'm like, oh.
With kids at a certain age, it's tough because sometimes the sleep schedule is insane, depending on the age. But I try to be up by like 5. And just
get up, work out. Is that?
Sometimes it depends on my mood. Like my magic hours in the morning. So what I realized was that if I worked out, then I'm wasting my 2 to 3 hours of my magic hours that I had for myself of getting things done. So that fits in somewhere. And then just, I usually have breakfast with the mentor in the morning, almost every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
We talk about, we're both coaches,
Mm-hmm.
and we talk about everybody needs a coach, right? Fitness coach, a business coach. And so I think that's fantastic that you meet with your mentor every single day. That's amazing.
Yeah. But it's got to be someone real, otherwise you're on the wrong agenda with someone else. So you got to be really careful. You got to be choosy.
Yeah.
In this day and age, especially with this fake social media,
Your
self-proclaimed guru.
time
Yeah.
is everything. That's all we have really is
Yeah.
time. And so
Yeah.
again, if you're sitting there and you're pitching, your wagon to somebody who is a Pied Piper, who
Mhm.
can't put I would never take advice from somebody who has not achieved what I want to achieve. And so to me, that's like the kind of the hiccup that happens with real estate agents is that they're like throwing their money at whatever. And I'm like, have they made $1 million selling real estate? Have they achieved what you want to achieve? And if they haven't, keep your pocket closed and just,
There's a lot of
move
money
on.
to be spent as an agent, and I think you just got to be choosy. Is it a geographic farm? Are you sponsoring the sports? Are you putting in the work of door knocking? Are you creating the flyers? So, yeah.
Oh, Kourtney loves door knocking.
I love cold calling and door knocking. That's my jam.
Ooh. I like warm calling. I hate cold calling.
I love warm calling too. I'm the relationship of it all. Although I'm open. I'm trainable. I'm coachable still. 21 years in the business, still coachable. And I think you have to be.
Yeah.
As a human, right?
Yeah.
You have to be always learning.
100%.
The more you learn, the more that you earn. How long have you been meeting with your coach every single day? Your mentor, I should say.
So I started at the agency July of last year, and we're in May. What is it today? May 18th, something like that.
What an awesome mentor.
But part of what me going to the agency was this person that continued to help me, and he actually coincidentally is a manager of the Pasadena office.
And you've seen the change. You've seen
Gus Realis. Shout out to Gus Realis. I love you. I think it's a reminder.
Mm-hmm.
There's an old term that some people don't really like. It's salesmen are men or women are born, not made. Okay. So I think similar to reading books, or if you're a podcaster, audio tapes, whatever, not cassette tapes, but yeah.
Hey, you might be aging yourself.
Oh,
we're
all the same age.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
You're just getting reminders.
Yeah.
So the more reminders I get from someone, and that's value.
Well, it's so important because it doesn't matter even if you are on a team, if you are with a big, even brokerage, we are just by its nature kind of on these lonely islands, right? As agents. And so you have to have the reminder. You have to have that daily, like, why am I doing this? Oh, this is why. And to have somebody that's committed to your success like that, that's a true blessing. That's
Entrepreneurship
awesome.
is very lonely.
It is. It's like being an eagle, right?
Yeah.
Like you're flying up there, you're awesome, but it's a lonely road.
I think not just our industry, but you've got, again, more of these self-proclaimed gurus that they're a gym owner or they're a CrossFit trainer.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get into the depths of entrepreneurship, you realize how very lonely it is. So the more you have a circle that's strong around you, the better that you're going to be for yourself, for your family, for others. And those reminders every day help.
Yeah, you got to be, what I say is all in all the time.
Yeah.
You have to have a lot of like, you're not going to know all the things. And guess what? You shouldn't know all the things. You cannot be good at everything. You have to have other experts that, you know, just enough to be dangerous, or just enough to be helpful, I should say, about title or mortgage or appraisals or home inspections. So you got to have your group of experts, your army of
People
experts.
that make you look good.
People that make you look great, right? But you have to meet with them. You have to know a little bit about their business. And so the more that you are in it, and that's how you win it. Is that a money-making thing? No, not right then and there, but knowing that, you know, there was some sort of insurance thing that changed could be that thing that makes you the rock star of that next negotiation, because you know for a fact that you're going to have to make that concession in that negotiation, and you're going to win that bid over, you know, a less educated, a less all-in agent. And I really think that's important, to be an all-in agent as an entrepreneur. You have to be. You can't do it as a hobby,
100%.
because then it becomes a hobby.
Yeah.
It becomes one house a year, which is, that still blows my mind that you brought that to the table today, right? That's pretty crazy. So how about this? How about if you're in the business and maybe you haven't sold as many as you want to? I believe, I call it right butts, right seats. What do you call it? Pivot. Courtney calls it pivoting. How long do you keep knocking your head against a wall before you pivot in this business?
I think you have to knock smart. Door knocking is a great tool if you're working a farm, especially if you grew up in the area and you're, you know, I do like the summer social with like the ice cream truck, and I'm always working my farm and I don't always get results, but there will be a time where I will be dominating that farm. And I know that's in the back of my mind. I'm just consistently trying to bring value, whether it's in the postcard or it's in a social post or a sponsor post socially. Just bringing value all the time, I think, is going to get you across the finish line, and trying not to do what everyone else does. Especially if the company I worked for before, who I'm not going to name, they're like the third or fourth largest, maybe second for agent wise. So if you have the same postcard as your 7 other buddies in the same farm, you're not going to be different. Whether it's a big listing, little listing, presentation, appointment, chances are you're going to be meeting with us. They're going to be meeting with people in your office anyway. So I think just being different is really key.
Can you explain, just as an entrepreneur, just share a story of what entrepreneurship looks like for you and how it's gotten you from, you shared that you had your own clothing company and then moved to real estate. And so just share an experience on what it looks like to go from that to be a realtor and where you're at now with it.
Nothing's promised in entrepreneurship. No one's there to save you. I think you have to just be consistent and just keep doing the activities. Activities in business have not changed. We have social media, right? But the calling, the emailing, the door knocking, physical mail, that works. It works great, actually. It works well for a lot of people. You know, I sold 1 unit in a building, got them on a mailer. 3 months later, someone called, hey, I keep getting your mail, list mine. So it works. It 100% works.
Yeah, one of the things that real estate agents, entrepreneurs in general, they like the shiny objects, right? Like, this is gonna work. Let's go. This is gonna work. Let's go.
There's a magic pill. There's a magic button. There's a magic script. There's a magic email campaign. There's not. Just so y'all know, you just have to really know. You have to like what you do. You have to be very, very real, authentic. You have to genuinely want to help people, and you have to work your ass off, flat out, like you do. Sorry, that's sorry.
Well, I think getting the appointment tends to be the easy part, and then you're like, oh, now the easy part is now the hard part, and now, So I think, you know, seeing the fruit of your labor, you shake a lot of trees, the coconuts fall, and it does work. And going back to what I said about being different, have your copy and your social just be a little bit different. Don't be like everyone else, and just be very consistent.
But I wanted to talk to you about one of the biggest things that is really difficult as an entrepreneur, whether you're selling widgets or houses, is the days where you just don't feel like talking to anybody and you feel like giving up in general. You become a lonely island. You don't have a very cool mentor who meets with you every day, which is very cool, by the way. That's kind of the underbelly of our business, is that being a lonely island can start to have a mental toll on you. And you're like, you might even have somebody flapping in your ear, like, what are you even doing? Like, you're not even making any money. Like, why are you even doing this? It might even be your own mind that's doing it. How do you combat that? What gets you through basically living a commission only life in a successful way. You have children, you provide for them. How do you get over that hump, which may or may not happen for, I mean, I know I'm very successful, but I still have those days. How do you bridge that?
Good question. There's a quote by Jim Rohn that I always think of, and it applies to anything in life, really. Anything that you do for work. Work harder on yourself than you do at your job. And so if you're doing that every day, naturally, I promise whoever's listening to this, you will win. Yeah. You have to work harder on yourself than you do at your job. That doesn't mean you're not happy with your job. I love my job. I love real estate. I love what I do. I love my company. The agency is wonderful. But get your craft, work on yourself, done well. Sometimes I do a little exercise, done well, done better from the day before. What could I have done better? What did I do right? And then just really looking at yourself and saying, what is my agenda and what's going to get me the results that I have today? And how can I help others too?
I love that. Yeah. And I believe you when you say that, right? A lot of people will say things and they don't really mean it and believe it. And I believe that you live by that.
Actually, he lives by that so much that he's generously offered a virtual weekly to-go box, courtesy of Jason Bergman, LA's favorite real estate agent. Want to tell us a little bit about that, what you're doing, what you're offering
Sure.
for value as a real estate agent?
Yeah, I'm going to give the buyer responsibility packet. So it has a list of who we are, why we're different, what am I bringing to you value-wise as an agent? Here's a copy of, the 6 things that we do differently. Mm-hmm. Here's questions you may have. By the way, here's a questionnaire. I'm going to get to know what you're really looking for. How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? Is it single family? Is it 2-story? Mm-hmm. And then as of this summer, you include a copy of the buyer broker agreement, right. Whichever state you're in. They might be called differently somewhere else. I know, but that's what we call it here in California.
That's what we call it too. That's killer.
And then you just have it all together, and yeah, I can provide that.
That helps you answer that question. Thank you for providing that. That's so great.
I think a lot of people in general don't know what value we bring as real estate agents. That is a huge opportunity to be like, this is the value that we bring, and look over it and know this. And it's almost setting up an expectation too. This is what I'm going to provide you. And now it's like you go from there and they already have the information.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for taking the guesswork out. So I'm going to give you the last bite today, Jason Bergman. Tell real estate agents of America the last little bite about being an entrepreneur.
The last little bite. This is like the dessert bite.
Yes. A little appetizer. Exactly.
Is it like parfait or is it ice cream?
Definitely ice cream. How is that even a question?
Chocolate
what
or
are you,
vanilla?
A communist? No.
The last bite is you can't give up. You got to stick to your craft. You have to have an agenda. Mm-hmm. And you have to know that you're inspiring yourself and others around you to do what's possible. So that's the only way you're going to make it in any career, I think, personally.
I love it. Hey, y'all, remember, real estate, it's crazy.
And you don't have to be.